Hi, this is Roger Schlitter. This video is actually about your LLC and do you really need an operating agreement? Most companies don't get an operating agreement until they actually go to the bank, and then the bank says you have to have an operating agreement, to borrow money. So anyway, an operating agreement for a limited liability company, an LLC, helps shield its owners, also known as members, from personal liability, and it can give important legal protection. While I can provide you with some information, remember, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a legal professional, so it's very important to consult with an attorney or a paralegal, maybe even, to ensure compliance with the specific laws and regulations in your state. An operating agreement is a legal document that outlines the ownership structure, management, and operating procedures of an LLC. Here's how it helps protect the owners. Number one, limited liability protection. One of the key advantages of forming an LLC is that it provides limited liability protection to its owners. This means that the owner's personal assets are generally protected from the business debts and liabilities. However, this protection can be jeopardized if the LLC is not operating or not operated properly. An operating agreement helps demonstrate that the LLC is being operated as a separate legal entity and not part of the individual, reinforcing the limited liability protection. And number two, clarifies ownership and member rights. The operating agreement clearly defines the ownership structure of the LLC, stating who the members are and their respective ownership percentages. If it outlines the rights, responsibilities, and obligations of each member, helps prevent misunderstandings and disputes among the owners, reducing the likelihood of lawsuits stemming from ownership-related issues. Like I said before, banks will make sure you have one. They will want to know what the percentages are of ownership. They want to know who the owners are, and they want that outlined in the ownership, in the operating agreement. So anyway, banks are very specific on that. When you borrow money, you have to have one. And I would get one that was written, it depends how big you are. If you're a small company, they're just going to want to see an operating agreement. They're not going to tear it apart. When I worked for banks, if it was a $1 million deal or more, or a couple $1 million deal, all of a sudden they would go through that with a fine-tooth comb. They'd have their attorney look at it. And if their attorney didn't like something on it, or if it wasn't properly written, they would go back and say, you have to have this redone, before we'll even think about doing a loan. So anyway, but that's for the very large loans. The small loans, they just want to make sure you have an operating agreement. Number three would be defines management and decision making. The operating agreement outlines how the LLC will be managed and who will make key decisions. It can specify whether the LLC will be member managed, where all members participate in decision making, or manager managed, where certain members or non-members are designated to handle the day-to-day operations, a manager. By clearly defining the decision-making process, the operating agreement helps minimize disputes and potential legal actions resulting from disagreements over management and control. Number four, sets operating procedures. The operating agreement establishes the rules and procedures for conducting business, such as meeting requirements, voting procedures, and financial management. Having these procedures in writing really helps to ensure that the LLC is operating in a consistent and transparent manner, reducing the likelihood of the legal disputes arising from operational issues. Number five, outlines dispute resolution, including provisions for dispute resolution. That would be, you have somebody else that kind of tells you, you give both sides, and then they basically kind of say who's right or wrong, such as mediation or arbitration, where they would do that. Within the operating agreement can provide a structured and agreed upon process for resolving conflicts among the members. This can help avoid costly and time-consuming litigation. The operating agreement states who does what, how they are doing it, how the company buys things, how will the company borrow money, how profits will be distributed, and how disputes will be settled. The one thing to remember is if it is written by an attorney, in the state where you are, and he's a member of the state bar, then it will be legal. Everything will be fine on it. There are accountants that like to write these things, and it's whenever I've seen one when we've had very large loans, we went back and we always had to redo them. So I wouldn't have your accountant do it. Some of them may do a good job, but anyway, I don't know if I would do that, have an attorney do it. Remember also that each state has its own specific requirements and regulations regarding LLC operating agreements. So it is very crucial to consult with a qualified attorney who specializes in business law to draft an operating agreement that aligns with your specific needs and meets the legal requirements of your jurisdiction, basically of your state. There are some online companies, and I've done this with legal documents. I bet some of you have too. There are some online companies that will make an operating agreement for you that is legal in your state. They will guarantee it's legal in your state. But these are really a fill-in-the-blank form. It will hold up legally. It will hold up in your state, but may not do everything that you want it to do. And a lot of times an attorney who's done these before can pull out things that the online one probably won't have that may help you later on. The thing is that the online one you're paying, right, say it's $50, maybe $100, and on the attorney, you're paying, I don't know, $250, $300 an hour, something like that. Could be more, could be less, but there's a big difference. So anyway, that's the end of the video. Hope you have your operating agreement done if you have an LLC. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified of future videos. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit the like button. My name is Roger Schlueter, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.